Hello again. Did somebody ask you what is your research philosophy? Did somebody ask you what is your philosophical stance? If you are writing a research proposal, if you are writing a dissertation, or you're writing a PhD thesis or a journal paper, this is the normal question the people like your examiner, your supervisor, or your reviewer will ask. Now, that is why we came up with the Simplified Research Methodology series, and in that we got two books which is the link is given in the description. In this video, we are going to talk about axiology. The earlier videos, we have already talked about the meaning of research philosophy and how does that apply to your research. Also, we have talked about ontology, epistemology, and this is the third branch of research philosophy, which is axiology. So, in a nutshell, research philosophy, which is love for wisdom, if you are searching for knowledge, you are searching for wisdom, you have to go through with the three branches and pick your choices in those three branches. So the first one is ontology, the second one is epistemology, and the third one is axiology. Now, before we start talking about axiology, I would like to ask you to subscribe to this channel and click the bell icon so you get the notification whenever I upload a new video or whenever I'm going live on this channel. Now, axiology is again a Greek word. The research philosophy comes from the Greek language. The word philosophy, which is philo and sophia, that is love for wisdom. The second one is ontology, which is ontos and logy. So the third one is epistemology, which is episteme and logy. So over here we got axiology. In that, logy is the common word. Logy means the study. Now, in ontology, ontos, epistemology, episteme, and axiology is exos. Those are three Greek words combined with logic. To understand ontology and epistemology, there are two other videos. The link is given up here, so you can just click on the link and you can watch those videos. That is also available in this playlist. Now, if you have subscribed to the channel, thank you very much. If you haven't, I would still ask, please subscribe to the channel. Now, axiology is a combination of two words, axios and the logy. Axios means the value, what value you are putting in the research, what value that research will provide. So the value adding in the research itself or in the research process. The study of value, how the study will provide value or what your value, your value as a researcher will go into the study. Now that is possible. Now you might be thinking, what is your value? What value you can put in the research methodology or in the research? Now it is possible that you are writing a research based on an organization where you are working. So many people does that when you are working in the industry, you pick an industry or a sector or the organization itself to do your research. Now, in that case, since you had experience on that organization, or sometime you come up with a topic that is related with the experience you had in that particular industry, sector, or the organization, so possible that you might be biased on your research. You might be biased to come up with the results of the research, or you might be biased that this is going to be the outcome of the research. Now, that bias is also related with that value you are putting. So, which means that when you are biased on one side, what is the value, your own value you are putting into it? So as an example, you are researching on project management and you are trying to identify which is the best methodology, project management methodology that is going to work in construction project, and you're working in a construction industry, a construction organization, and you are a project manager there. So, which means you have already tried some of the methodologies and now you already know the outcome. But to disseminate your understanding and what you have learned, your knowledge or your experience, you need to write a research paper. But before writing the research paper, you already know what is the best methodology. So, which means it is possible that even though you go for literature review or you go for questionnaire and interviews later, you are still biased because you think that what you know is the best methodology. So, you might try to manipulate with the data, or you might try to not manipulate, maybe might try to divert the outcome towards the methodology you know. So you, which means you are biased. So your value, your own understanding, your own knowledge is guiding your research, is your knowledge is navigating towards the desired outcome. So which means you are putting your own value into it. But in many of the research, what we try to do is we try to make it value free. Now there are three different elements in axiology, which is value free, value laden, and pragmatic. Now in value free, that researcher is standing outside the research scope and just coming up with the outcome, whatever literature is saying, whatever the people is saying based on the questionnaire, the quantitative, or the interviews, which is qualitative. Now, based on the people understanding, which is again the constructive knowledge, based on sometimes if you are doing experiment on something, then it could be realism. Based on if you are asking people, then it could be relativism. So based on all those, are you putting your own value? Are you manipulating the data? Are you navigating your own the outcome? Are you navigating towards your own outcome, which you already desired, which you already think that this is the right one? So the value free, that you are standing outside, and whatever literature, whatever the people is saying, or whatever experiment you are doing, the data is coming out, you are just presenting the data as it is, that you are not modifying it, you are not putting your own observation into it, you are not putting your own values into it. But on the other side, the value laden is that yes, you are putting your own values, you are observing, and you are giving your own understanding based on your own experience, and you are when you are writing about the main findings, or when you're writing about the conclusion or all that, you are providing your own analysis, which is value laden. Now, in the social science, or nowadays, most of the research are value laden because there are so many different type of biases. Even though if you talk about the experiment, based on the experiment, for example, you are doing an experiment to identify the, let's suppose, coronavirus, that what type of medicine is going to work on coronavirus. Now, when you start your experiment, what happened in that case? You already have knowledge and understanding of that. These could be the medicines, or these could be the drugs that can work on coronavirus. So, which means you already have understanding and knowledge about it, and your decision could be biased based on your own understanding and knowledge before you start doing the experiment. And you use those those drugs or those medicines to test on the coronavirus. So that is possible that you was already biased. In the other setting, when you are working on literature review or systematic literature review, then it is possible that the outcome of your literature review is biased based on your understanding and knowledge. So most likely it is possible that is going to be value laden. Now, pragmatism, where again pragmatism is combination of both of them, same like the combination of in your epistemology, your combination of objectivism and subjectivism, your combination of realism and relativism as well. So pragmatism is mainly that you are value free, but it is possible that sometimes you put your value into it. It is possible when you're analyzing the data, when you are writing the results, when you are observing the experiment, you are putting your own value. So that is means if you are putting your value, which means your research could be biased as well. So this is axiology in a nutshell, and these three branches of research philosophy are very important to understand, and most of the researchers work on the research philosophy. But the problem with this is more you read about all these, much confused you sometimes become. So that is why we came up with the Simplified Research Methodology series, and there is a book which is Simplified Research Proposal, which is in the description. The link is given there. So feel free to read that book. Simplified Research Methodology is available for free download. And I will come back to you with more terminologies in the research methodology, and we will try to make it more and more simplified. And we will talk about those elements in ontology, epistemology, and axiology in bit more detail, so you can understand in much better way. Till then, happy researching.